You're lying in bed, it's 2:14 a.m. You're not thinking about your taxes or your grocery list. Instead, you're replaying a conversation you had in 2017 with a barista. You're wondering if that "okay, your boss" sent in an email, the one without an exclamation point, was actually a coded message that you're about to be fired. You're mentally rehearsing an argument that hasn't happened yet, and the worst part? You're losing the argument in your own head. Welcome to the world of the chronic overthinker. To the outside world, you're just thoughtful, detail-oriented, or conscientious. But inside, it feels like a high-speed chase where you're both the driver and the car being chased. You aren't just thinking, you're calculating every possible failure in an infinite loop. It's exhausting, it's isolating, and it's scientifically fascinating. Overthinking is often called the disease of the intelligent, but it's really a glitch in a very old system. Today, we're peeling back the layers of the human brain to understand the psychology of overthinking. We're going to look at why your brain treats a read receipt like a life or death emergency, the physical damage this does to your nervous system, and how you can finally flip the switch to off. In clinical psychology, overthinking isn't just one monolithic thing. It's usually a cocktail of two specific, toxic behaviors: rumination and future tripping. Rumination is the act of obsessing over the past. It's derived from the Latin word ruminare, which literally means to chew the cud. It's what cows do when they regurgitate food to chew it again. Your brain is doing the same thing with your memories. It's trying to edit reality. Psychologists call this counterfactual thinking. You're creating if-only scenarios. If only I hadn't said that, or if only I had taken that other job. You think that if you analyze the past enough, you can somehow change the outcome, or at least prepare yourself so it never happens again. But here's the truth. You're analyzing a script that's already been filmed, edited, and released. You're wasting current energy on a closed system. Then there's future tripping. This is the what-if generator. This is your brain trying to create a worst-case scenario map, so you won't be caught off guard. We call this catastrophizing. If I fail this test, I'll drop out of school. If I drop out, I'll never get a job. If I don't get a job, I'll be homeless. Because the future is infinite, the what-ifs are infinite. You aren't preparing for the future. You're just paying an emotional tax on disasters that will likely never happen. Why can't we just stop? To answer that, we have to look at two competing networks in your brain: the default mode network and the task-positive network. The DMN is your brain's idle state. It's active when you're daydreaming, remembering, or thinking about yourself. For most people, the DMN is a rest state. But for overthinkers, the DMN becomes a self-correction state. It's like a car engine that revs at 6,000 RPMs while it's parked in the garage. Usually when you start a task, like washing dishes or writing a report, your brain toggles over to the task-positive network. This is the doing mode. In overthinkers, this toggle is broken. You might be washing dishes, but your DMN is still screaming about that awkward thing you said at lunch. You are never fully present because your brain is stuck in a self-reflective loop. This is often governed by the anterior cingulate cortex. Think of the ACC as the conflict monitor. Its job is to notice when things go wrong. In overthinkers, the ACC is hypersensitized. It sends out a red alert for minor social frictions, as if they were major structural failures in your life. You might ask, if overthinking is so painful, why is my brain so good at it? The answer is that your brain isn't trying to make you happy. It's trying to keep you alive. Thousands of years ago, hypervigilance was a superpower. You needed to overanalyze the rustle in the grass because if it was a tiger and you ignored it, you were dead. The people who overanalyzed everything, the overthinkers of the Pleistocene, were the ones who survived to pass on their genes. But here's the problem. Evolution is slow, but culture is fast. Your amygdala, the brain's almond-shaped alarm system, doesn't know the difference between a physical predator and an ambiguous text message. It triggers the same fight, flight, or freeze response. When you overthink, your body releases cortisol, the stress hormone, and adrenaline. This is the amygdala hijack. When the alarm bells are ringing, Your prefrontal cortex, the logical, rational CEO of your brain, gets sidelined. You can't reason your way out of an overthinking spiral because the part of your brain that does the reasoning has been temporarily disconnected to save power for the fight. We often hear that overthinkers are just perfectionists. But there's a specific psychological framework for this called the maximizer versus satisficer theory. A satisficer has a set of criteria. Once those criteria are met, they stop. They say, "This toaster is $20 and toasts bread. Good enough." They are generally happier because they don't look back. A maximizer, however, feels a deep existential need to find the absolute best possible option. In the age of the internet, this is a nightmare. If there are 10,000 toasters on Amazon, the maximizer feels they must research all of them. This leads to analysis paralysis. The sheer volume of choice creates decision fatigue. For a maximizer, every choice is a risk of regret. This leads to cognitive friction. You aren't just choosing a path, you're grieving all the paths you didn't take. Overthinking becomes a defense mechanism against the pain of potentially making a suboptimal choice. It's a fixed mindset trap. You believe that if you make one mistake, it defines your entire worth. Let's talk about the social side. This is where overthinking becomes truly painful. How many of you have spent hours wondering what someone meant when they didn't include an emoji in a text? In psychology, this is called mind reading. It's a cognitive distortion where we assume we know what others are thinking, and because of our own insecurities, we usually assume it's something negative about us. We also fall victim to the spotlight effect. This is the psychological phenomenon where we overestimate how much people are noticing our flaws. You remember that coffee spill from 3 days ago. Everyone else forgot it in 3 seconds because they were too busy overthinking their own coffee spills. This often leads to rejection sensitivity dysphoria. For some, the fear of social rejection is so intense that the brain goes into overdrive, trying to predict and prevent any possible slight. You're playing a social game of chess, but you're playing both sides, and you're making sure you lose every time. Overthinking isn't just in your head. It has a physical toll. When your brain is stuck in a loop, your HPA axis, hypothalamus pituitary adrenal, is constantly active. So we know the why. Now, let's talk about the how. How do we actually stop the engine? We need to move from bottom-up emotional reacting to top-down logical regulation. Don't try to stop worrying, schedule it. Set a timer for 15 minutes at 4 p.m. During this time, you are required to worry. Write down every catastrophe. But when the timer dings, the window is shut. If a thought pops up at dinner, tell yourself, "I'm not ignoring this, but I have an appointment for it tomorrow." When you feel a spiral starting, ask, "Will this matter in 5 minutes? 5 months? 5 years?" Most things fail the 5-year test. This forces your prefrontal cortex to take back the steering wheel. Stop saying, "I am anxious." Say, "I am noticing the feeling of anxiety." This creates a self-observer distance. You are the sky. The thoughts are just clouds. The sky doesn't try to stop the rain, it just lets it pass. Overthinking isn't a personality trait. It's not your destiny. It is a habit of the mind, a survival mechanism that has gone into overdrive. And like any habit, it can be rewired.